Hello students, I welcome you to our English class on Madhu App. Children, we have been discussing about the trunk of Ganesha written by Jayant Mahapatra. Let's recap what we have discussed already. The clay image of Ganesha stood incomplete to one side of the room facing the grilled window. Ranju cleared the debris surrounding the image and gave some fresh mass of clay to his father for needing to fill the tear carefully. The image appeared as clean and smooth as a mannequin. The image was a meter away from the window, and Govind Maharana shifted it deliberately so that he would get more light for his work and the image would dry up soon. Next, now we will go to the topic. We will sit up tonight, he told his son with an air of finality. That is the only way we will ever learn what's happening. Here, yes, here. Which way the intruder come? He looked round the room and pointed to a dark corner further away, about 3 meters from the window. That would be just the right spot for us to keep watch unnoticed. You can observe the door, the window and the image at the same time from there. Right, father? I suppose it's the only way for us. So the plan was agreed upon for the night. Govind, who usually had his evening meal quite late, decided to have it early, along with his youngest son. The hours passed. A light drizzle came, which lasted only for a couple of minutes. The night appeared darker to both father and son. The darkness denser as they took up their prearranged positions in the corner of the workroom. At first, they found it difficult to distinguish one object from another, but soon the darkness emptied itself. The image of Ganesha stood as they had left it earlier in the afternoon, apparently unperturbed and dominant. Somehow the idol appeared to have grown in size in the dark. Children, now we will explain the meanings of unfamiliar words. An air of finality, it means with a final confirmation. Intruder. Intruder means one who enters without permission. A person who enters our house without asking us or illegally. Okay? Then apparently, it means clearly or obviously. Okay? Next, unperturbed. It means undisturbed. Unperturbed means undisturbed. Now, we will explain each sentence of this topic. We will sit up tonight, he told his son with an air of finality. That is the only way we will ever learn what is happening. Children, here he means Govind Maharana. Govind Maharana told his son that they would sit up that night, okay, and would see what was happening to the Lord Ganesha. Here, his youngest son, Govind Maharana's youngest son, told, here. Yes, here. Which way would the intruder come? He looked round the room and pointed to a dark corner further away. Govind Maharana told his son, Ranju, that they would sit up that night, okay, and he pointed out to the dark corner of the room. He looked around the room and pointed to a dark corner further away, about 3 meters from the window. Dark corner of the room was 3 meters away from the window to which both son and his father would sit up that night and closely observe arrival of the intruder. That would be just the right spot for us, to keep watch, unnoticed. Unnoticed means nobody will see us or know us that we are sitting in the corner of the room. You can observe the door, the window and the image at the same time from there. From the corner of the workroom, both Govind Maharana and his son Ranju would be able to see the door, the window and the image, the idol or image of Lord Ganesha from that secret position. Right, father, I suppose it is the only way for us. Ranju said to his father that it was the right spot for them to sit and closely observe to the intruder. So the plan was agreed upon for the night. Govind, who usually had his evening meal quite late, decided to have it early along with his youngest son. The hours passed, a light drizzle came which lasted only for a couple of minutes. So here children, we come to know that the plan was agreed upon. The plan to see the arrival of intruder was finalized. Govind, who usually had his evening meal quite late, decided to have it early along with his youngest son. Govind Maharana usually took his evening meal late, but on that day, the day on which they would sit in the corner of the room and see about the presence of intruder, decided they would take up their evening meal. Govind Maharana would take up his evening meal with his son quite early. A light drizzle came which lasted only for a couple of minutes. During the night time, a flash of light entered into the room that lasted for a couple of minutes. Next, children, the night appeared darker to both father and son, the darkness denser as they took up their prearranged positions in the corner of the workroom. As it was decided to sit in the corner of the room, both Ranju and his father took up their prearranged in the early decided position in the corner of the room, and they also closely observed about the arrival or coming of the intruder. Night became very denser and darker. At first, they found it difficult to distinguish. The night was so deeply dark that they could not distinguish and identify one object from the other. At first, they found it difficult to distinguish, to identify, to differentiate one object from another. But soon the darkness emptied, means the darkness went away. Emptied means went away. The image of Ganesha stood as they had left it earlier in the afternoon. Means they could see no changes. Okay. In the image of Lord Ganesha, it was undisturbed and it was the same as they had left it earlier. They had left it earlier in the afternoon. Apparently means clearly, unperturbed and dominant means the image of Lord Ganesha was unchanged as it was earlier. Somehow the idol appeared to have grown in size in the dark, but the idol seemed to grow in size in the darkness to both father and his son. We will discuss some questions and answers related to this topic. Write true or false in the brackets given below. Ranju and his son decided to remain awake whole night to watch the intruder. Is it correct? Yes, it is true. Next, both father and his son kept a close watch on the Ganesha idol staying at the window. Is it correct? No, it is false. Govind used to take his evening meal early. Is it correct? No, false. They took up Gobind Maharana and his son Ranju took up their pre-arranged positions in the corner of the workroom. Yes, it is obviously correct, true. The idol appeared to have grown in size in the dark. Is it correct? Yes, obviously it is true. Now children, answer in a word or a phrase. Write in a word or a phrase. Right, father, it's the only way for us. Who said this? Right, father, it's the only way for us. Who said this? Ranju said this. Answer is yes, Ranju. One who enters without permission is called, yes, tell me, yes, intruder. Is called intruder. How long did the light drizzle last? It lasted only for a couple of minutes. A couple of minutes. Now, next children. Whom did Gobind Maharana take his evening meal early with? Gobind Maharana took his meal along with his youngest son. Yes, youngest son Ranju. With Gobind Maharana took his evening meal with Ranju. Then how far was the dark corner from the window? It was only 3 meters away. That's all for today's discussion. Children, thank you. Bye bye.